As for the entrepreneur or business owner, don't be afraid to ask a consultant a question that bothers you. Don't be afraid.
Welcome to the Jeff Glines Show, where success isn't just about the destination, but the journey. Behind every success story lies untold challenges and lessons. I'm Jeff Glines, and I'm here to take you behind the scenes with business leaders and entrepreneurs. We'll explore the real stories behind the success, the challenges, the late nights, and the breakthroughs. If you're looking for raw, real insights into the world of business, you're in the right place. Subscribe to the Jeff Glines Show on your favorite podcast platform. Join us for new episodes every week, and let's dive into what it really takes to succeed. Today, I'm joined by Gus Jasangas with Jasangas Business Solutions, and he helps fund businesses with capital so they can grow. He solves challenges for businesses with innovative solutions, and I'd like to welcome Gus to the show. Welcome, Gus, from Aloha, I should say Aloha, right? From Hawaii.
From Hawaii, yes.
Yeah. Aloha. I love the ocean in the background. I understand you just took that picture yesterday or a couple days ago.
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. So nice. You're over there in Oahu, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I ran away from the mainland when I heard winter was coming.
Yeah, I love it. So, Gus, just where did you grow up? Where did you grow up? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I was born and raised in Guam. That's one of the territories of the United States.
Yeah.
Which is recognized as the spear, the head of the spear, or the tip of the spear for the United States Armed Forces.
Mm-hmm.
And I was born and raised there. Half of the time, I'm on the island of Saipan, where my mother is from, but my residency was on the island of Guam.
Okay. Nice. And then what brought you to I guess when you moved from Guam, what brought you over to, I guess you live in Las Vegas right now, right? And then you have and then you like to go over to Hawaii during the winter months. Yeah. So what brought you, what made you leave Guam?
Well, gosh, about maybe 15, is it 15? I think more than 15 years ago. I was a professional photographer in Guam. And I received this message or email at the time that a company called Sears Portrait Studios needed a professional photographer to train their studio photographers. So I submitted my application, and 3 days later, I got a phone call, and I was invited to the United States, met with the Sears Portrait Studio executives, and started my first job in Brownsville, Texas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Just so people can kind of get to know you a little bit too, I have kind of a funny question here. What's one of your favorite funny stories that you like to tell people about you? Or not even about you, or what's happened to you, it's just so people can kind of get to know Gus a little bit.
Yeah. So as we pass as we reach the age of 50, sometimes we forget. But there's two things that happened to me that one day. I was looking for my cell phone, and I was in a meeting, and I was looking for my cell phone so I can obtain, some information that I needed to pass on.
Yeah.
And I kept telling the group in the meeting to hold on, let me find my cell phone. Well, I was on my cell phone.
That's happened. That's happened to me.
Yeah. So I was looking for cell phone, and Lauren, a good friend of mine, who's a client, said, "Gus, we're on the phone. I think if you look at your hand, you realize you find your phone." Sure enough, of course, I'm holding my cell phone. The other thing that happened just the other day was someone, Jeff is a well known and overly used name. So this gentleman calls me up, which is yesterday. It was yesterday, and his name was Jeff, and he started talking about all of these plans of just putting media together. I mistakenly thought he was you.
Oh, and you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and I started talking about the things we were, and he's like, "What? No." And I for a second I said, "Wait, is this Jeff guy? Blind?" And he's like, "No, this is Jeff King." Anyway, yeah,
Well,
those are the most recent.
yeah. Well, it brings to mind that me and my wife are always playing charades every day because we just can't think of a word. We're trying to think of something or whatever. We're always
Mhm.
playing charades. So I feel your pain there of forgetting stuff. Hey, I just wanted to comment to our audience today. You had brought up about that you work with a lot of these hotels and supplied financing for them, and they give you hotel vouchers. So I wanted to let the audience know that Gus, out of the kindness of his heart, he said, "Hey, look, if you listen to this podcast, share it with somebody, and if you know anybody that needs capital for their business, Gus, he's going to talk more about it, but he can hook them up with some capital and some money for their business, and he'll send you basically a week-long stay at a hotel in Hawaii, and which is amazing. And also too, with my business, I do payment processing, and
Mhm.
so anybody that is that accepts credit cards, and you can refer them over to me. Then we will also send you a gift certificate as well, or a voucher for a week-long stay in Hawaii. So yeah, thank you so much, Gus, for offering that. That's amazing. I appreciate
Yeah,
your generosity in doing that. So audience members, listen to the end so you can get the details. And we're gonna talk about the details on how you can give us your name, number, and referrals and whatnot. So we really appreciate Gus's generosity. So let's get into the interview, Gus. Okay, so Gus, I have a question for you. Why are you passionate about what you do? What drives you with your business and how you can help people, help businesses?
well, what drove me was my past experience
Oh,
in my journey as starting off as an entrepreneur,
okay.
and that experience is a part where I needed to create or or raise funds to start my business.
Okay.
For me to start my business, it took me 2 3 years, almost 5 years to get enough funding to start my business. And I know every entrepreneur, they want to do this, and halfway to their goal, they give up
Hmm.
because it's so hard to raise capital.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I got into the business of helping entrepreneurs or existing businesses or businesses that have been around for 20 years.
Hmm.
Everyone needs capital, which is an injection of capital every now and then. But a couple of years ago, I was in the process of starting an airlines, to fly, my people or the Chamorros to Guam, because traveling to Guam is the most expensive flight anywhere in the world. I mean, you can fly to Guam, and it'll cost you almost $4,000, $6,000.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, but you can fly from Las Vegas or Los Angeles to France or to Italy for $400.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So anyway, so I did that, and I raised capital. I raised about 25 million, although I needed 50 million, and I couldn't do that. But then the pandemic hit, and my business partner, of course, passed because of it, and,
Uh-huh.
and so that business went down the drain.
Mm.
And then during the pandemic, ironically, I thought it was going to be a 3 month, or first I thought it was going to be like a 2 week thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then after 2 weeks went by, so it's just going to last like 3 months. And then when the 3 months passed, maybe 9 months. But all that time, I was using all of the savings I've had.
Uh,
And then it passed 1 year, and then it went on to the second year, and I went broke.
uh,
And yeah, and then the government starts helping us out, and then I became homeless.
oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And so I said, well, I need to pick myself back up. because I can't see myself in that situation. So in about 4 months, I called friends who I can, sleep in their couch for a little bit. Went to my sister's in Houston. Had friends, help me out a little bit here and there. But then something happened. Somebody called me and said, "Hey, Gus, you raise funds for your airlines. Do you have access to those investors?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I still do." So they said if I can help them, they'll give me a nice cut from
Mm-hmm.
from that. So I did that. I reached out to the investors for the airlines and told them about this one project, and the investors loved it. And then I realized that that was my calling. I was a facilitator. I can take businesses that had issues or problems, and then I have contacts who had the solutions, and I
Mm-hmm.
married them together, and everybody was happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked it up from there, and majority of it was because of fund. Majority of the whole need is funding capital, and so I
Uh-huh.
focused on that. And then the next thing you know, a lot of them needed some accounting. Next thing you know, they needed what is IT or IoT, Internet of Things, and I had all these connections because of that airline experience of reaching out to people to
Yeah.
build an airline. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So there's so many things I could do with that. I facilitate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like you and I we try to help restaurants or any business understand that there are hidden fees, and the best way to find out is to contact you. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, like I do. I'll be sending most of my credit card merchant clients to you, and because you're the only one that tells people take a look at your statements.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't see it. Nobody looks at their statements. But anyway, but
Uh-huh.
that's how I got into this passion of helping
That's a
entrepreneurs or businesses, get what they need, and there's an easy way around it.
yeah. Yeah, that yeah, because yeah, that's a big issue for a lot of people. Just they just don't know how to go about it. I mean, they don't even know where to start, let alone,
Mhm,
you know, uh, like you said, raising or getting a loan for a larger business. But that's a great story. Um,
mhm,
and it kind of answers a lot of my different questions. How you got started and chose this industry. It kind of chose you. It sounds like because you
mhm.
know you uh, you were able to overcome your challenges and then be able to do this. That's incredible. Yeah, what a great story.
Yeah.
Um, so what have you learned from being in the consulting business that that maybe business owners should know? What should they know? Because you see a lot of businesses and stuff. Any best practices or things that these small business owners or even regular business owners or executives need to know
Mhm.
from your perspective as a consultant and solution based consultant?
Yeah. So I'm going to give you two parts here.
Okay.
One part is for the consultant. The most important thing, other than having a client,
Yeah.
the most important thing other than having a client is listening. Yeah. I've had salespeople call me, and I would tell them what my needs are, but I noticed that this individual kept pushing the sales. The person wasn't resonating to my needs,
Uh huh.
and so that's how I take care. That's how I become a trusted consultant to my clients, is because I listen,
Hmm.
you know, and I jot down notes, and then I reiterate what their needs are, and I tell them I'll get back to them about solution. As for the entrepreneur or business owner, don't be afraid to ask a consultant a question that bothers you. Don't be afraid,
Okay.
because if you don't ask me a question that is lingering in the back of your mind, you and I will never find a solution to that problem because you're afraid to ask that question.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's my advice is to the client. Don't be afraid to ask any question. Don't be afraid to be truthful about how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as for those consultants, let the client talk. Let the client tell you their story. Listen to their story. Jot down the important words that all of a sudden you caught, and then ask them a question about those certain that particular event
Uh-huh.
that caused them pain. Hmm.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Just listening for the pain and addressing the pain because that's all
Yeah,
they want. That's all business owners want, right? They want a solution to the pain. And if you don't know the pain and you won't stop to listen, then you'll never be
right.
able to solve it. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's an example. I started, Jeff, you laugh at this, but most people are going to be just like, yeah, whatever. I started helping entrepreneurs and businesses obtain capital about a year, well, February of last year.
Hmm.
So now I'm a year and 2 months into the business. But within that year, I put in a total of, well, today, well, yeah, $13.9 billion into the pipeline.
Hey everyone, Jeff Glines here. And before we get back to the show, I just want to share a quick tip for all you business owners. If you haven't heard of dual pricing when it comes to payment processing, then I want to share my free guide on how to eliminate 100% of your credit card fees in your business. And I'll share a link in the description. Go ahead and click on that link. Get my free guide, and you're not gonna want to miss this. And you can thank me later. So now we'll get back to the show.
As of last week, I had another 250 million. So now it's 14.1 or 14.2 billion.
Wow, that you've brought capital to and solutions to businesses.
And then aside from the funding, I brought solutions to a lot of businesses in almost every industry, from farming to distribution, warehousing,
Hmm.
manufacturing. Yeah,
Wow, wow,
yeah.
that's incredible. What a success story. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's incredible. So, what's uh, what's the most difficult part about being a consultant and for businesses? What do you find the most challenging for you as a consultant talking to business owners?
Um, yeah, the most challenging is having a client who reached out to you for help, but then in the process of you trying to help them, they have this know-it-all cap.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and for them to know, for them to be that client that I know everything. Sometimes I have to take a deep breath and step back and just let the person put that ego out.
Yeah.
Let all that stress, or not stress, but let all that ego out. And then when you're done, now let me share my vision of your problem. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's encountering the clients who know it all,
Yeah.
but yet
Yeah.
you seem to solve the problem.
But
Hmm.
they're asking for help, but they won't listen to you. Yeah,
Right.
that's
Hmm.
got to be that's got to be frustrating. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had to just, matter of fact, I've had to let some of them just whine off or wean off from my list, and then like 4 or 5 months later they come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just point out the pain points from back then, and then they not to repeat it again.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so maybe you can share an experience without sharing like names and detail, but share experience of what that looks like. Someone that has that ego and just won't listen to you, just so the audience kind of has an idea of what not to do. If you're a business owner and you got this ego, this is what you shouldn't do.
Right. So I do have this one. Well, yeah, I have this one particular client reached out to me. I basically took him in and gave him all these um, leads as to how to get funding.
Hmm.
Went through the process of all of this for $40 million. Everything was good. Was approved. Underwriter approved everything, and then ghosted me.
Wow.
And the lending groups that I put into this. And then 3 months later, um, he reached back out and says, "Okay, I'm sorry about that. I was just really busy." And it happened again. We went through the process, and this time it was for $15 million. And again, it happened.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't judge people, and it happened the third time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and the third time it was one of his businesses, because he has multiple businesses, but the third time it was this other business. Got him through the whole process, interview process, underwriter, term sheets was introduced, and then they turned around and says, "Well, at the moment we don't need funding." Wait a minute, that was a whole month of processing, and now you don't need funding. Yeah, but I know that I do know that they're going to get back, because our interest was below
Hmm.
the interest rates that the banks offer.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's
So
that's
those are the things that I get, and I have to deal with it. I have to deal with the whole idea of people just playing games and not being sure about needing funding.
hmm.
But yeah. Anyway.
No, that's good insight. So business owners, if you're listening out there, you know, Gus's time, my time, everybody else's time is valuable too, not just not just the business owner, because we're trying to help people. And yeah, that seems like a little bit over the top after three times. That yeah, that's crazy. You kept going back. I don't know if I'd have that kind of patience with somebody, but so good on
Mm.
you, yeah, for having the patience. So Gus, when are your most productive times as a business owner? What's your most productive time? Maybe a routine that you do, or to get clients, or what do you find the most productive?
Yeah. So I have all these. I have a geez. I would say I have 12 different type of industries that I can help businesses with. But what I do is, especially being in Hawaii compared to the mainland time zone, I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Hmm.
which in California, 4 o'clock in the morning is like 6 or 7 a.m. But I wake up in the morning, and I do my morning ritual for an hour, and then I get into my computer, and I dedicate 30 minutes to a particular, to one industry, and then move on to the next industry every 30 minutes. And then at 9 o'clock in the morning is when I start Hawaii time. 9 o'clock in the morning is when I start my Zoom meetings, and I allocate based on the which is the clientele or the industry. I base like 15 minutes, 30 minutes to 1 hour. So thank goodness today's Friday and my schedule is completely open. So after this, I'm going to the beach.
Yeah,
Um,
nice.
yeah.
No.
So I dedicate 1 hour, or a couple of minutes based on the industry until 12 noon Hawaii time. And then anytime after Hawaii time, 12 noon Hawaii time, I'm free. Reasons because New York, which I do a lot of business with, it has
Mhm.
already gone home for work
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
12 noon. And then 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I get a couple calls from Central Time,
Hmm.
and then and by 2 o'clock, I get one or two calls from Pacific Time. But rest of the day is just pretty much open. I dedicate, which is a lot of my time based on industry, a couple of minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So tell me, kind of take someone through the process that are a business is looking for some capital, they're trying to solve some problems. Kind of step us through your process and what you do when you sit down with a client for the first time. That's, let's just say they need both. They need capital, they need some problems. I mean, obviously capital is going to solve problems, but they also have some other type of business problems that they're trying to deal with.
Mhm.
Kind of
Mhm.
step us through your process and what you do, and analyzing their business and helping them find the solutions. Kind of step us through that process, how it works.
Right. So what I do is when someone fills in my online form for either a loan or some other type of service. When it comes to capital, I just want to make everybody know that when it comes to capital, and let's say you need $2 million or $1 million, you have to consider your credit score,
Mm-hmm.
your personal credit score, because if you've never done a loan before, the banks or any lending institution needs to know what or who you are. And or for them to understand who you are in the financial industry, they need
Mm-hmm.
to know
what your spending habits are, and what
Mm-hmm.
is your savings habits like.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that ratio, that ratio of spending versus your credit, etc. But if you want $1 million, you need to make sure that you have an 850 credit score, and that you have at least 2 years or 3 years of record of paying bills, paying loans, et cetera, et cetera. I get a lot of these individuals or people that don't understand that they have their credit score is like 200 or 525. They need 2 million, and then when I tell them, oh, that's almost impossible, they get really upset. But that doesn't stop there. That there are other ways of obtaining business credit, and I've just recently learned this, that when you form your LLC or S corporation, or even that when you go into business as a sole proprietor, the minute you open up a bank account, you can ask the bank for a business credit, and they'll give you anywhere between 10,000 to $50,000 in business credit. Use that as a business credit. Treat it like it was a credit card, because it's a LOC. It's a line of credit they're offering you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so treat it as a credit card. If you take money out, because they won't charge you interest in the line of credit, but they'll charge you interest on the amount that you've withdrawn.
Yeah.
So if you take, let's say you got a $50,000 credit limit, or yeah, credit limit, you take 10,000 out, you'll be paying interest on that $10,000.
So try to
And
get it.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and the thing about it is people get so scared of it, where they say, "Oh, I can't pay $10,000 in 30 days." You don't have to. You pay by increments. You talk to the bank and say, "What's my monthly, amount that I need to pay this 10,000 I've withdrawn from my line of credit?" They'll tell you. But
Yeah.
that's the only time when they charge you interest. They charge interest with the line of credit.
Mm-hmm.
There's this new thing that's popped up. It's been around a while, but business credit is available, and I've just funded, um, which is a client of mine in Houston, Texas. He didn't know he had a credit. He had which his bank gave him 15,000. He applied, or I helped him apply for a business credit, and he received 175,000
Oh, wow.
of revolving credit. And every 6 months, he just needs to go back to that bank and say, "Can I get another increase?" And
Mm.
so the bank, they never say no to the increase. They'll give you the increase. Yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Yeah. And so you go, so when you sit down with the client, the first thing you do is you're looking at their credit score in the beginning,
yes.
and then
Hmm.
okay. Did you say 850 on their personal credit score?
Yeah, 850. If you want if you want something that's really high,
Oh.
$1 million, eight
Oh,
hundred
yeah.
fifty. Yeah, 850. You qualify for $1 million.
Oh,
But
well,
anything under 750, 750, you'll get a little bit of that 1 million. But here's the thing about the whole thing. If you're a business owner and you're making 35,000 a month in revenue,
hmm,
and you want to get a loan that's higher than that, take that 35%, times it by 75%, and that whatever the equation out comes out, whatever comes out of that equation, that's the amount total, the highest amount you'll get, is
75%
you
of
taking
the
that
monthly.
35,000 times 75%.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. That's the max credit limit that you
Yes.
can get. Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Based on your
Yeah.
gross sales.
Yeah.
So,
Based on your gross revenue, you
uh-huh.
times it by 75%, and the equation that comes out, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get any higher. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
so I have a client looking for 2 million. He makes about 1 million. Well, the only way he can get his 2 million if he made 4 million.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
50, that's 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I use that scenario because that's the safest scenario I could use.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, what so what do you wish you knew before going into the consulting business? Maybe what would you wish you would have known something before you got into this, or
Yeah. I wish I if I knew what I knew now or know now, I wish I could send myself a text back, a couple years ago, that I could actually, I should have charged people for just talking to me and to, to direct them to what areas they go to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, to make, to what do you call it, to generate revenue for myself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know what? I realized that everyone is tired of paying so many fees and nothing happens.
Uh-huh.
So my deal is, let's get through this, and once you get funded, that's the only time I would get paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Unless they ghost you, right?
unless it goes me. Yeah. But I trust people. I still have a lot of trust and a lot of
Uh-huh.
patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and people keep coming back.
Yeah. That's
Clients.
great.
Hmm.
That's great. What have you found some of the best networking methods to be able to get business and get the word out there for your consulting business? What?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was word of mouth.
Okay.
Because of all these large deals that I've gotten when I first started.
Uh-huh.
When a client, when an associate would call and say, I need funding, reach out to my previous investors. Yeah. Yeah. Networking is just talking to people, listening to people. Um, Here's a good example. I was funding this one particular project, which is like a 1 point something billion. And I funded the person, and we started talking. I called him up and I said, how are things going? Oh, this is great. I'm trying to figure out this HVAC system. I'm like, what's the problem? And he says, well, I'm getting so many different pricing and so many different ideas from different contractors. And I said, hold on, I have the solution. And I referred them to an associate of mine in California. They met and now they're married, and the project is ongoing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I solved his HVAC system. And then he got into this software and AI issue. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I got the solution for that one too. So
So,
we got the AI and cloud storage and everything like that.
uh-huh. Oh, nice. And so the only way you're getting
Yeah.
paid is through the lending side of it? Is that
Well, on the lending side, I do get paid after the fund is done, because I just want to make sure that the client gets funded.
yeah, yeah.
On the services and product side, I always refer someone to which is a network of mine
Yeah,
that has
yeah.
the solution, and I basically just make a deal, not with the client, but with the person that's providing the service.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
yeah, give me 5 or 10%. I'm not
Yeah.
asking for much,
Yeah.
because I know this client's going to keep coming back to me for solutions.
Oh, okay. Nice. No, I'm glad.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was kind of worried about you for a second, making sure that you're getting paid for your time and for referring some of those business owners and solving their problems besides just funding, right? So that's good.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's good to
Yeah.
hear. Um,
Yeah.
what's kind of wrapping things up? What's one piece of advice that you can share with my listeners today? Maybe some business advice.
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah, I would say be patient. Yeah, be patient, and just make sure that you dedicate for every project you have, dedicate at least 15, 30, or even an hour to that particular project per day, and you'll never fall short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
just
So
keep going.
patience, and just
I
keep
love.
going, get
Yeah.
organized.
I
Yeah.
love, I mean, that is business in a nutshell, is solving problems on a daily basis and not giving
Hmm.
up, right? Just keep moving forward. Um, what if 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 people are wanting some capital and they're wanting to get in touch with you and reach out to you, what's the best way for them to do that? Is it a website to go to,
Hmm.
or what's your website? So, because we have the podcast, so I can put it up on the video, but for the podcast, what's the name of your website?
Yeah, it's jasangas.com.
JustSangasSolutions.com, or just
No,
saying,
just jasangas.com.
oh, JustSangas.com. Okay, so it's your last name,
Yeah.
JASANGAS.com. Just Sangas. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Jasangas.com.
And then there's a place on there they can just put in their information and you get in touch with them then if they need some
Yeah.
funding. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, and I just one more thing. I just signed a deal this week. Now I provide government grants, not SBA,
mhm.
not SBA. This is for farming, uh, which is multiple structure developments.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I provide grants now. I've made a deal with an agency.
Uh-huh.
That,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay. What's one of your biggest takeaways that you hope the listeners learn today from what you've shared so far?
The biggest takeaway is don't give up. Keep
Okay.
on moving forward. Every single day, there's always pains that we go through every
Mhm.
single day, and that's part of life.
Yeah.
But at the end of the time, at the time you lay down in bed, you'll realize that it's just part of the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you've got somebody in your corner like you, then it makes it a lot easier to be able to navigate that stuff. I mean, really, it's so I encourage people to reach out, business owners that are maybe stuck or trying to find some solutions, reach out to Gus. Absolutely. Go to his
Mhm.
website, jasangas.com, and that'll be awesome. So now we're at the end. We're at the end here, and so if you want to be able to take advantage of Gus's generosity in a week stay at a hotel in Hawaii, look for a link on either the podcast or on the YouTube channel. Look for a link, and we'll have a link you can click on. You can share your name, information, and then obviously any referrals of people that need funding, need capital in their business, or any individuals that need payment processing or need credit card processing. Maybe they want to save money. The big thing now is to eliminate their credit card fees. And I can show you how to do that. And if you send some of those referrals over, you will get yourself a week-long stay in Hawaii. You just got to get the you just got to pay for the airfare back and forth. So, but hey, Gus has got you covered for a week-long stay in is it Oahu or is there different
Yeah.
islands? Oahu. Okay.
It's in Oahu, but some like I said, or most of the hotels have chains in the other outer islands, so they can transfer your which is
Oh,
your yeah.
okay. Okay. Awesome. So it's you have a couple different vouchers. You said 5 nights or 7 nights
Five,
or
five,
what's
I have 5 days, 4 nights.
okay.
For I believe Hawaii. There are a couple of hotels and resorts that offer 7 nights, 6 days.
Uh-huh.
So once we get that information, I'll send them the what we call the link for them to redeem that
Okay.
hotel resort stay,
Okay.
and they can choose whatever hotels is on that link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Make it easy then, all digitally. So I'll put the link that you can send your referrals over, and then you guys can obviously you don't even have to draw your name out. All you have to do is think of a business owner that needs some capital or needs some payment processing, and you got your opportunity. You and your wife or whatever can go stay in Hawaii. So that's awesome. Yeah, thanks again, Gus, for your generosity on that, and thanks so much
Mhm.
for kind of learning about going from homeless to funding how many billions of dollars or 1.4 billion or whatever it was.
Mhm.
That's an incredible story, and yeah, I appreciate you jumping on here, and thanks so much, and I hope that you guys will share this podcast and refer Gus some business so that he can fund some more businesses and people can find success and in their business that they're shooting for. So thanks again, and that is a wrap. Thanks so much, Gus. Appreciate you.
All right. Mahalo.
Mahalo. I just want to thank Gus Jasangas today for his insight on business and as a consultant in the business industry. And I just want to let you know, take him up on his offer. If you guys have a referral for myself for payment processing, or if you have a referral for someone for Gus who is looking for capital for their business, just send a direct message through any of the links. You can go to my Instagram, and you can DM me in there, or in Facebook. You can send a message if you have a referral. But Gus is going to be generous. If you've listened to this podcast all the way to the end, he's going to give you a week stay in Hawaii. Now, you just have to pay the resort taxes and fees, pay for those up front, but you have 18 months to be able to redeem your week-long stay in Hawaii. So take him up on his offer. I'll have a link in my description so that you can click on that link if you want to book a week in Hawaii. Thanks so much for listening today. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, as well as YouTube. So follow us, and we'd love to have you part of our community. So thank you.